it's not it's not a it's not a major barrier
Barrier,
to
okay.
entry. The people that are doing very well in cybersecurity that didn't even go to university.
Oh, okay.
Some didn't study computer science. So when I see adverts saying that they want someone with background in computer science, it breaks my heart really. But it just limits, access to skilled resources that you really need to solve your problem.
Mm,
Because a BSc would not solve any company's problem. We know the way Nigerian system works. You have graduates in computer science, they've never worked on a laptop. Some people don't even know any programming language, right? So that basically just reduces the amount of people that you can interview and get the value from. So I think employers need to step down on that. I think if first degree is good enough,
mm,
but even that shouldn't be a
maybe.
barrier. It's the skills that people need to start looking at, not the educational background. Education is very good, but when it comes to modern cybersecurity, the attackers, for example, they probably don't even have a BSc. Some of them don't even have any secondary education. But these are the people that are making us, work overtime, right?
Mm,
So defenders should not have a higher barrier of entry when attackers have very, very low barrier and they're extremely good at what they do. So most of the people that went to school, even PhDs, will struggle against these guys because they are totally hands-on,
mm,
right? So the education should not be a limitation for them. I have a background in computer science, which helped me. It doesn't mean that someone else cannot do
mm.
better than I
Yeah,
have done.
that would have that would have been the question I would have asked. That what if someone doesn't have that background in computer science and all that? Will he still be able to survive in cybersecurity field or as a career? But I think you
Definitely.
you answered that.
Yeah, definitely, because like I said earlier, is the interest that matters, right?
Mm,
If you're interested in something, nothing will dissuade you, right,
oh,
from doing it. You want to achieve it. So someone has mentored you, or you encountered something and made a decision to go after it, right? So nothing will stop you. It's what you learn and what you practice and what you're able to show that you can do that gets you really far in cybersecurity, not the degrees and the certifications.
thank you for that insight. So going straight to career progression and skill development. I would ask that what were some of the most significant challenges you encountered in your career progression, and how did you overcome them?
So I think for me, the major obstacle was time because I got drafted into pre-sales early, and pre-sales is similar to solution architecture.
When you say prisons, for the sake of your
Yeah,
awareness, what's
so
the role of
pre-sales is like the middle person between the technical team and the sales team. So this person has to uh, talk to customers and design solutions, listen to the customers' issues, and come up with a solution basically that works. The framework, the workflow on how to solve that problem. So that means the person needs to be vast. The person needs to read wide. The person needs to understand multiple technologies. Foundational technology like cryptography, VPN, network security. You have to understand a lot. Cloud security. Be able to put a solution together. And design takes a lot of time, right? When you work as a salesperson or a solutions architect, you don't just close by 5 o'clock. It's probably
Mhm.
when you start working.
Oh, that's true.
That's probably when you start working. So you have RFPs to develop or to respond to, and then they have the sales guys breathing down your neck. So time was a very, very big factor for me. I didn't really
So
have
you work
enough
two for
time.
seven.
Yes, so
Wow.
I had to learn. I had CBT nuggets, videos to watch. I had YouTube playlists to watch, but there was not enough time.
Because you need to always develop yourself, have knowledge
Yes,
about
yes. So that time
current.
was one of them, and time was best spent in the office because in the office you have lights, you have internet, you have AC. Because back then, all these things they were luxury, right? It wasn't really available like this. So you had to stay overnight in the office. You had to sleep in the office in
Wow.
some cases to get that knowledge. Yeah. So those are some of the challenges then that they don't necessarily exist right now. Because by the time you get home, there's no light at home. Like light was really, really bad. Internet was really, really messed up at that time. And then, of course, time is what it is. Lagos traffic and everything. So it was a bit difficult at that time. But what I've realized is, if you want to achieve something, you have to be willing to pay the price, right?
Mhm.
So you have to sleep back in the office. You have to sacrifice other things. must make out time for something you're interested in,
Mm.
knowing that that thing's going to get you out of a lot of trouble eventually if you able to achieve it. And I'm glad I was able to navigate that. Do my work as it were, and then also gain some knowledge that helped me to go further in life than
Wow.
where I was.
Wow, that's very interesting. So even apart from being a sales team, um, do you think other areas of cybersecurity are also time consuming?
Yeah, not every area. So it depends on which area of cybersecurity that interests you. So if you're going to be doing the less technical roles like vulnerability assessment, internal audits and stuff, yeah, those are not so time consuming. But of course, there are some certifications so that they need to write, which
Mm,
are time consuming. Certifications take time,
okay.
right? But the problem is after passing those certifications, you now need the experience. You need to use those tools. If you're doing vulnerability management, for example, you want to use stuff like maybe Tenable or Police or stuff like that to really hone those skills. So you need time to still.
Yeah, definitely. You mentioned something, one of the things that inspired you into cybersecurity, which was that you have a website and they kept disturbing you and all that, and that opened you up to the world of cybersecurity and started. And I believe that we all have our grace moments, which is that there will be a time there will be a point in time in our lives that we'll do something, and that thing would, would announce us, and we just start flowing in that dimension of grace. So, can you just share a specific incident or case you worked on that significantly impacts your career?
So there was this organization I was working for. That was the third company I worked, and they signed up a new solution at that time. It was called Sourcefire. Sourcefire were responsible for snot rules and the rest. They used snot rules and the rest. It was a top network security solution at that time. So I got introduced to it. I had traveled to Uganda to deploy some other solution and
Wow.
then found that we were also deploying Sourcefire for them. So I had to go through the training myself. I had to be certified in that Sourcefire. That Sourcefire really introduced me to a whole new level of next generation firewall. So it was more like a next generation IPS.
Mm,
So that next generation technology really propelled me because having that knowledge, having that experience, really opened up other doors for me, and I believe that was one of the things that got me to where
wow.
I started up currently working with that experience. Even though it's not exactly an IPS that I do right now, but that
That
foundation,
opened
was
opened the
there,
door.
yeah, for
Wow.
me. So
That
it was that source fire, which is now Cisco Firepower.
wow.
Yes, so that was it. That was it.
Wow, that's very interesting. And talking about certification, there's been a lot of debate between obtaining a degree and getting a certification. You talked about certification where you're speaking that you had to do some level of certification and all that. Is certification enough, or um, is certification enough in cybersecurity, or one still has to obtain some level of degree before you can have that level of validation that you're a cybersecurity engineer or something?
So I think for some years now, I would say certifications that they've overtaken degrees to a large extent.
Like,
I'll give you an example.
okay.
Now, CISSP, which is one of the most important certifications in cybersecurity. If you want to be a top manager,
Mm,
right? In some schools, for example, CISSP could take about a year or two off your course time. So if you're supposed to study cybersecurity for like 4 years, I mean CISSP, in some schools right now, you can reduce that your tenure to only 2 years to get the degree.
wow.
Right. So in some schools, CISSP is as good as a master's degree. Yeah, in some organizations. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
the
yeah,
level of
yeah.
that's how advanced educations are right now. And when it comes to practical knowledge, you rather want to have someone that can defend their certification
Mm,
than someone that can defend their degree because degrees don't really add a lot of value to some areas of cybersecurity,
mm,
right? So it's very so there are degrees in cybersecurity right now,
mm,
masters in cybersecurity. Those are quite relevant. But then there are certifications that cover most of what's,
and they are up to
yeah,
date.
and they're up to date. Yeah. So
Mm,
certifications are mostly updated. You already know
updated.
they expire too.
Yeah,
So you have to,
but you have a correct
keep renewing
knowledge.
the exactly. But degrees are one off. You could graduate 10 years ago and not even remember a single thing in class, and you still carry the degree around. The certification, you have to continually
Renew.
you renew it. So I
Yeah.
would go with lean more towards certification. But really more for me, not the certification itself, it's the training and the skills that you got in the process of trying to get that certification. So I'd rather have someone that has not gotten the certification but has the skills than
Mm,
someone that has the certification and not the
no,
skills.
absolutely.
Because then there's no value.
There's no value to that. Wow. Thank you. I would have had asked additional questions to that, but I think we should just move because of our time. So, talking about specialization and expertise, in what specific area of cybersecurity did you choose to specify? I think you've spoken about that, which is pre-sales, and why?
So I was more interested in network security. So that's that. I had a Cisco background. So it was more from, and that's one advice I would give anyone going to cybersecurity. Right, if you want to go into technical cybersecurity now, so, you should understand networking. Right, understand networking fundamentals is very important because that really helped me with network security. Network security, you can apply yourself in almost any field of cybersecurity, including cloud security. Right, understanding scripting, understanding programming languages even makes it better for you. So I started as a network security engineer, then I moved into technical sales, which meant I had to have an idea of almost everything. Like I should be able to understand, to have an idea of almost everything in cybersecurity,
Mm,
not to go deep, but at least to go wide.
why? Wow.
So that which was what I did. So from network security, I had to pick up a bit of everything there and here and there, so I can talk to customers more, assist in the meeting from beginning to end. I can understand about 90% of what the customer is saying, right?
Definitely.
Which is where I am right now.
I also started with network engineering, then moved to network security because me, I believe that without connectivity, there is no,
Mm.
there's nothing you're securing. So, which is very important. So, um, looking into industry insight and advice, what advice would you give to someone who is just starting out in their cybersecurity career?
For someone that is just starting out, especially if uh, they are not currently working,
Mm,
right? Someone that is not currently working, they
like
don't have a job
maybe
yet.
someone that wants to transition from maybe is into maybe social
Science,
management or know that, or is into trading, anything, but is also educated, but he wants to transition, or what
transition.
advice, or someone that just graduated from school, but they are coming new to cybersecurity.
The first thing is to develop interests.
Okay.
It's very important. You can listen to podcasts like this one, listen to talk shows, read news on cybersecurity, see if you're interested. Because it's very difficult to, because I've had a lot of people, come to me for mentoring, and somewhere along the line, they deviate and they're no longer serious. It's not because they're not serious, because they didn't really have the interest. Because they just got carried away with the hype, and
They
then
saw $60,000.
yes, people are making money in it, and then you don't have the interest. But if you have an interest in something, that interest drives you, because you need to be dedicated for a while for you to achieve results, right? You need to be consistent for some time. So that interest is very important. You can get that interest by listening to people, attending webinars, attending podcasts, attending shows. When you have that interest in cybersecurity, I would strongly advise to get someone to mentor you. That
Mentorship.
should be the first step. Get the mentor so that you don't just, you can go online and start reading about courses and stuff like that, but you don't want to waste your time. When you have a mentor, like someone holding your hand to cross the road, right? So the person has already been there and just tell you, this was what I did, but it's not working right now. Don't do this. You can start from here, because they can see, they live it every day. So get someone to mentor. If you can't get a mentor, get into groups, get into forums, ask